Alright, this is my new 440 steam locomotive. I made this out of a bunch of scrap parts. It took about 6 months. So, kind of a quick explanation. This started its life as an MTH 460 old-timer steam locomotive, and it was missing the drive block and pilot and tender wheels. And I thought I could just buy those, put it back together, and have this nice little locomotive. But MTH doesn't sell the 460 drive block anymore. So then we had to get very creative to find some kind of wheels to drive this locomotive. So after a bunch of looking around the shop and looking online, what I settled on was taking this scrap chassis I had. I had two of these. They're MTH T1 duplex chassis that were missing a whole bunch of parts, and I decided I could work with one of these. So I cut the drive shaft behind the gearbox, and then cut the frame right behind this set of wheels. On the front, there's these flat little plates that were used to connect the T1 to the shell. I trimmed those off and then cut right here. The wheels were very close together and I needed them to be a little bit more spaced, so I actually drilled through the frame about 3/8 of an inch forward, reinstalled the bushings, and then these wheels didn't have the little rim behind that I needed, so I borrowed wheels from up front, but kind of turned this whole thing around and made this my drive chassis to fit underneath the 440. It still had this place where the pilot was attached, so I reused that. This is my wheel with a little bit of spacing. I had to make a new connecting rod. The drive rod came off an MTH General. Pilot is actually a Lionel 250E Hiawatha pilot. What I did was, instead of it being centered between the wheels, that pushed my wheels way back towards the drive wheels. I actually cut the center section out, moved it back a bit, and welded it so that I could get the wheels to go forward. So all that being done, there's a DC can motor, a little dog bone drive shaft in there. I made a little tender drawbar, kind of put this on the back and just screwed it into the frame. Here's my tender trucks. They're the same as on the 605 passenger cars. I only have this going one direction. It only drives forward. I did not put a reverse switch in it. We are very, very, very cramped for space on this. So I painted it, put some rubber stamp on it. On that DC can motor, there's no brass flywheel, so it's a fast start, abrupt stop, but it does run and runs really well. So all done, all completed. My custom 440 locomotive made out of parts from a 460 locomotive, an MTH T1 duplex, a Lionel 250 pilot. 6 months of work. I think it came out really, really well.